Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Gas is on the Right. No, he's got a chance to win the race.
Yeah. I think that might have been like one of the cleanest hits I've ever seen in a NASCAR fight.
Side Rick. Yeah, the back. Oh! Into the wall hard goes Ryan Blaney.
And he finally came to a stop. And it was just dead silent.
I said this last week, and I'm going to keep reiterating it. Live with the decisions you make. Drive by the decisions you make. Don't change up your style, but also just don't be dumb. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Gas is on the Right podcast with Daniel, Emily, and Alan. Guys, we got some massive news. Massive news to share. We're not going to share it yet, but we got some big stuff. Big stuff for you guys. Let's roll. So, how are we going to kick this off?
I think we should talk about the duels.
The duels.
The duels.
Duels at Daytona, the Blue-Green Vacation, right? Blue-Green Vacation duels,
Yes.
1 and 2. Actually, what about we start in qualifying? What do you think, Daniel?
In qualifying, it looked like the Fords were going to be really good in the race, and the Toyotas were going to be really bad. And it turned out to be quite the opposite. You know, we expected Chevrolets to be pretty neutral compared
about
to what they
normal.
were last year.
Right.
And it was up in the air what the Toyotas and the Fords were going to do. And, you know, as usual, the Fords were really good in qualifying, and the Toyotas weren't. But the Toyotas seemed to be a little bit more off than they were the year before in qualifying. But
Yeah.
In actual
sometime to
racing-
race, that didn't translate the same.
That's what I was.
Which
gonna
makes
say,
me
so the
wonder if
first
they
duel-
didn't give up a little bit of speed for handling and just come prepared for that, you know?
Yeah. So, well, what were you saying about the first duel?
Well, I was gonna say that was one thing that we noted in the first duel when we were watching it is how good the Toyotas were doing in the duel versus qualifying. Qualifying, they didn't look too promising, like you said, but in actual race situation, they did.
Yeah, I mean, the Fords obviously took the front row, swept the front row in single car qualifying with Joey Logano and Michael McDowell. But
Front row motorsports.
yeah, front row. But when it came to it, I mean, the Fords even with the numbers, they just couldn't keep the pace. And
Yeah, and the
you
first
really
one,
saw
I
it.
was giving them the benefit of the doubt, but the second one, they had everybody in
The
there,
second one,
and
they
it
had
just-
7 cars lined up on the bottom row and could not get by anybody and make any ground.
Mhm.
I mean, that just shows that the Fords were not as well equipped. And then you watch in the second one, you see Truex. Truex was able to get back to the draft after a bad pit stop and stalling out in pit road. You saw Denny and Bubba able to work it out and get their way up front. Christopher, the Toyotas swept the duels with Reddick and Bell. Dude, Toyotas are going to be the cars to beat on super speedways this year. Mark my words.
You think so?
Oh, 100%. So,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see once you get all of them together and everybody's together to see how it's going to play out. But
right.
it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be very, very interesting on how it plays out and how it rolls. But I really think that I think the Toyotas are going to be the ones to beat. Even with 2 cars, 3 cars, I mean, they were getting the runs that nobody else could get. And that was based off of, I mean, that flat nose that they talked about in the broadcast is a big key in that.
Yeah, they're able to push
pushing
better.
A lot of air and push on the bumper. Because, you know, I mean, it's a concave bumper a little bit, so you can't square up. So, and if you hit it off square, I mean, you heard somebody was talking about they need to square up more on the bumper to Nemechek. I think Hamlin actually was,
I don't remember.
but somebody was like, you need to square up more because they weren't hitting it square.
They were literally calling their spotter. Is that what you were talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, but yeah, quite an interesting duels. We saw some good cars get torn up. do you guys want to talk about open races real quick that made the cut?
I mean,
Yeah, we got,
I was rooting for Jimmy Johnson the whole way. I'm sorry.
And
I
what a
think everybody
battle.
was.
Traditionalist. I mean, I don't think anybody wasn't, but
Right.
anyone who wasn't was greatly disappointed in that.
Oh, 100%. So,
I
mean,
thought
you
JJ
have,
Yaley had him coming into turn 3,
oh,
but
dude,
he ended up trying to take his run instead of just staying in line, and
I get it
Jimmy
because
Johnson got the better of him.
he had quite the run coming up on Chastain there too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, quite the run. There's a wall there.
I know,
Good
right?
night.
Jesus, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I can't remember who ended up in the top lane with no momentum, and it stalled him
Kyle
out completely.
Larson. Kyle Larson got squirrely on a push in the turn, and it bumped him up top, and then that kind
And I
of
think
train
AJ
affected the
Allmendinger
line.
ended up behind him.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean he was third, because JJ Yaley was third on the outside, and there was just no momentum, and it completely stalled him out. And I was like, oh, because I like JJ Yaley too, and
right.
it just didn't go the way he was hoping it was going to go, which sucks for him. But
Yeah, I mean, and massive respect for Jimmy to come in and talking, like at least shaking JJ's hand and just commending him for how good of a race he put up. I mean, JJ had him there at the end, and it's just JJ had too much speed. You can play Monday morning quarterback or Friday night quarterback anytime that you want because, yeah, he could have probably let off and played blocker versus trying to take the move, but commend him for making the move. So, because he could have hung back. I mean, he was blocking the crap out of Jimmy Johnson there in the final laps of that race.
yeah,
I mean, to the
a
point
couple
of
of
almost
times I
wrecking
thought
his
he was
car.
about to just right hook him.
Yeah.
When he came down to side draft, I was like,
So, but
I'm
then
like, "Don't
we had
wreck, don't
another
wreck."
great battle in the second duels with BJ McLeod and
Kaz Gralla.
Kaz Gralla, which Kaz
Man,
Gralla
BJ
won
was
out
up
on.
there in the top 5. It seemed like almost all
BJ running
night.
a
I was like, man,
great
he's going to do
race.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, he's going to do it.
So BJ with a solid race coming down the line. I mean, I commend him for that, especially with what looked like an unsponsored car too. Hit us up, guest on the right podcast at gmail.com. But an unsponsored car.
Later.
Oh yes, a hint coming up on that one. Let's talk about legends. But I mean, just all across the board, the duels were phenomenal. And if that's any testament to what Sunday's going to be, I'm excited. I'm already excited, but I'm more excited. So, but we do have to discuss a
tell
big
you
part
what.
of the duels.
No, not the
I hope this truck race right now doesn't translate over to the cup race because, my God, they can't
just
drive
a
5 laps.
Really?
Yeah, they can't go 5 laps without wrecking.
I'm pretty sure that it was supposed to be done by 10 o'clock. Because ARCA's supposed to race at 10:30 tonight due to
Well,
rain.
they had a little bit of a rain delay.
Ah.
It rained in the middle of it, and they had to stop.
See, that's one of my worries for Sunday is that we are going to be rain
Oh,
delayed.
yeah. Saturday and Sunday ain't happening.
Damn it,
We're
Jackie, I
having a
can't
Monday
control the
morning.
weather.
I don't need
Part 2.
another-
Part 2.
I don't need another one.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
hearing
If the Daytona
a President's
500
Day
gets rained out,
500.
I'm calling out Monday.
So,
We're
That's
taking
what
it.
we said.
We're
We
taking
were
a
literally
holiday.
like, we
We're
will
debating.
shut off our phones.
like, do we
If
shut
we have
down
to
or
go
do we
to
just
work.
call out?
If we go
So-
to work, we have to shut off our phones until both of us are home and we can watch the race.
Hey, speaking of that, if you'd like to sponsor us, Guesses on the Right podcast at gmail.com. We would love to take sponsorship so we can quit our day jobs. Continuing on.
Sit home
Amen.
and watch
Subtle
the race all
plugs.
day.
Subtle plugs. Sorry, we've been celebrating since about
shameless.
8 o'clock tonight because we have some great news to share. So, but moving forward, let's talk about the big one in Duels 2. How 6 cars
The big
torn up.
one. The big one made me.
Yeah.
So anxious.
Ryan Blaney took another nasty hit, man.
That
In a faster part of the
scares
track.
me. Every single time he takes
Yeah.
a hit like that, it scares me. I'm gonna be honest.
So, I mean, a faster part of the track, a more dangerous part of the track, considering compared to his July crash or August crash last year, but still a head-on, almost near head-on, near identical incident due to some bad pushing by somebody else. So,
Second year,
Yeah. No fault of his own, just wrong place at the wrong time.
literal second year, second track.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the wreck, it is on all of our social media pages. You can pull it up and see what we're talking about. But basically, to explain what happened, is Byron and Blaney were fighting for position, and Blaney went up. Byron went up. Blaney came back down. Byron tried to come back down, was not clear, and then just
And
kind of
went back up.
yeah went back up, got loose, got sideways, and then right hooked Blaney into the wall at the exit of the trioval
Oh,
and just waylaid him, and took out 12 total cars involved in the incident, 6 cars out of the race. One of them was actually a fuel pump from Josh Berry during the red flag, but I think it tore up 12 cars, but 5 cars totaled, or possibly totaled, that will most likely be in backup cars come Sunday. Kyle Busch, of course, Ryan Blaney. Who else got damaged in that one? There was a few others, but those are your notable
Keselowski got
damage.
damaged.
Keselowski,
I think
he was able to
Bubba Wallace
finish.
made it out.
Yep.
Like he got hit.
Yeah, he got
But he
damaged.
got
BJ
back
McLeod
in.
got damaged.
Yeah, BJ probably would have raced into the duels had he not gotten damaged from this wreck.
Mm-hmm.
I was going
So
to say he almost did it anyways.
yeah, and he almost did. So he just got shuffled out 3 wide. Sorry, we have the bird trying to talk to
adding
us.
some commentary. She's usually very quiet.
I was
when it's
wondering
only
what that
me.
noise. I
Yeah,
heard like
sorry.
a wah 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 wah.
We're
It's
adding
literally
a
the bird.
natural effect to, like we want a backing track almost. It creates an ambiance.
Yeah, it's just the bird. She's usually pretty quiet when it's just me, but I think it may be Alan's voice that's making her just.
The bird is Kyle Petty fans
There you go.
with his hot takes. That's the bird. So wah 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 wah. But all right, guys. So our dual winners, we had Tyler Reddick win duel 1, and we had Christopher Bell win duel 2. Neither driver led any lap but the last, the one that counts. Final thoughts from the duels on what we may translate into Sunday.
I mean, I love a good last lap pass at Daytona.
Oh, you
So-
got to.
Hopefully that translates over as well. No third lane after the pit stops. It just was non-existent. If you got out there, you went right to the back.
I think with a
You could
40
go
car
up there
field,
if you
we
had a
may get it.
run, and then you just,
I think with a 40-car field, we may get it.
maybe. But I mean, you could go up there with a run, but you just stall out immediately. So
Yeah, you just couldn't. Nobody would commit to the third lane. Was a big part of that.
yeah, because normally I know at Daytona, especially because on the bottom there's so much bumps down there. It's harder to keep your car underneath you. I know that they like to go spread out around when they decide to start doing parade laps. They just like to go out around the outside. And so I figured you'd see more people kind of navigate up there in the earlier laps just to get through it. But I
Right.
mean, they did at least stay double wide the whole time, so that's something.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, moving from there, let's see here. So, just overall, I mean, what are you feeling on these new cars? Do you think who built for what package between Toyota and Ford?
Maybe the Fords were giving up some on the super speedways and going more towards the mile and a half. That's where they struggled. Really, until the end of the year when Ryan Blaney really came on. Other than that, Fords weren't relevant on mile and a halfs
Right.
for the majority of the year. It was Toyotas and Chevrolets.
Which that's been
So-
the tune for a while.
And I think maybe the Toyotas were like, all right, we're really kind of kicking butt on these mile and a halfs. We can give up a little bit here to gain a little bit on the super speedway. So, I mean, I'm still undecided on it. Ask me week 18.
I
You
will
know,
ask you on week 18.
And
We
that'll
will know-
and then we'll have a better feel
yeah,
about
we'll note it.
what we're actually getting out of them, because right now
Right.
it's just such a small sample size. You don't really, it's still hard to tell, because I'm not even completely sold on the fact that the Fords have fell off,
Yeah.
just because like you said, it wasn't that 40 car field.
Right. And I think we'll see there, but also we do have to consider the Ford has a lot more inexperience than any other manufacturer coming into this season. So, I
Yeah.
think there's a lot to be said there. A lot of also novice drivers when it comes to the Ford Mustang in and of itself, considering the fact that you
Mm-hmm.
have like Justin Haley that came over from a Chevy. So
Yep.
you have Josh Berry coming from a Chevy. You have Noah Gragson coming from a Chevy. So, I mean, yes, they are the same bodies, they're the same car, it's a spec car, but it is still different in that aspect of
Yeah,
like the
obviously it
processes.
drives different because of the body and the way the arrow is.
Right. So,
So,
because I mean,
I mean, the
Arrow's
motors
number
might
one.
feel similar, but
Yeah, you're probably going to feel around the same power, but how it affects how the car drives is going to be different. So,
Mhm.
but well, let's move into some Sunday information. Do you smell?
Do you smell?
If I may,
Yeah, I can
some
see.
rock is cooking.
So, go ahead.
The bird is cracking me up. I'm so sorry about my bird. She just likes to talk and hear herself.
So, well, we have Dwayne The Rock Johnson as the Grand Marshal for the Daytona 500. This is his first Daytona race, second Grand Marshal event. The first time was in Texas in 2004.
In 2004?
In
I thought it was more
2004.
recent for some reason.
And then on top of that, the honorary starter, which this is going to be great, is DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled.
Drivers, start your engine. Another one. Another one. Another one.
So, some big names coming to Daytona for NASCAR. That's a big in that industry. Having that amount of influence that those two individuals
Oh, yeah, that's
have
gonna be a
is going to
big
bring a
draw.
lot of eyes to the sport. So,
For
but
sure.
it's going to really suck if we get rained out. So, let's hope
I'm
that
gonna be so mad.
And then
Jackie
they're not
can't
be-
control the
and
weather.
then they're not able to be there.
Jackie.
Yeah. So, but those are going to be some big names that are going to bring some clout and ice to the racing scene. Obviously, with the big names that are in the sport, with Michael Jordan, is it? I've lost my train of thought. There's a running back for the Saints that's very involved in NASCAR.
Living Camara.
Yes, there you go. I was right there. But
Floyd Mayweather.
yeah, Floyd Mayweather with the
The money team.
Michael Jordan, of course, with 2311. So a lot
Brad
bigger
Daugherty.
names continuously coming in. Yes. So, but we're seeing some movement. We're seeing some eyes there, and it's going to be hopefully a good race as long as they can get it in. Very concerned. Obviously, they moved the ARCA race up from tomorrow to tonight. Post truck race, the ARCA race will run tonight. So that's
They're still
that's
wrecking in the
telling.
truck race. They've tied the record for most cautions.
How many
They're
laps
probably
are
about to
left?
break it.
How many cautions
4.
has it been?
4 laps. How many overtimes
12.
has it been?
There's still 4 laps to go, so none yet.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it'd be a green white checkered. I tell you, I'm a little off today. So well, some side news. There are talks between, apparently have heated up as Honda coming in as a manufacturer to NASCAR.
Been seeing little rumor bugs around that.
So per Adam Stern, it's the possibility of Honda joining NASCAR is very real. Honda and NASCAR have recently remained in talks, and those negotiations are starting to heat up. So may see
Yeah,
Honda
they're probably
on
just
the board.
waiting for the charter agreement to finish to
Yeah.
see if it's worth getting into. And that's more incentive for NASCAR to give the teams what they want, to where it's more incentive for more other manufacturers to come in, because if they get it to where Honda wants to come in, Dodge has been right there like, hey, we kind of want to come back too, and it just hasn't been fiscally smart for them.
Right.
So if they can get it to where it is, we might be able to have Dodge reintroduced and Honda come in as well, and definitely
Yeah, bringing some
diverse the field up as far as
manufacturers to shake up
manufacturers
the
go.
field
Right.
would be phenomenal.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I would be excited. I know we've been hearing a lot of talk since like 2020, 2019 about a fourth OEM coming. It's always been Dodge at the forefront because of their performance series and how much they prioritize performance in their cars. But Honda has been a dark horse recently that's popped up in the last year or so, and it seems to be continuously getting hotter and hotter that they're going to come. So, on that, do they use the Accord or the Civic?
I don't know, the
Civic.
Civic's kind of more racy.
I was gonna say the Civic just based on.
Definitely the Civic.
Well, we'll go Civic. We'll go Civic for now.
I like the idea of a car I used to own being.
Well, do we want to get into some breaking news for Gases on the Right?
I think we should save that.
Thought you'd never ask.
Or are we going to save it for the end?
I think we should save that for the end.
We're gonna build the anticipation.
After our picks and everything.
Just know it's going to be legendary. So,
Legend. Wait for it. Dairy.
well, so if you haven't seen us on our TikTok, we have talked. Wow, my volume is up right now. But we put out a post to ask some questions. And we got a question, but we'll take a question. And this will correlate into our picks. So, let us see here. Mr. Trey, with the crown emoji, commented on the post. Our top 5 picks for Daytona. So,
I'm gonna be honest, that's really hard for
Emily,
me.
considering the fact that you won the Clash picks and you are in the lead right now, we need to. You can start with your pick and then give us your top 5 following. Or if you're not ready, Daniel can start.
Hold on. I need some.
Oh, we have information coming up right now. So, in the meantime, if you don't follow us on any of our social medias, feel free to do so. We post almost daily NASCAR content, news, any updates, such as this week with us changing up our recording schedule to a Friday night versus a Wednesday night, mainly because of the duels and, of course, Valentine's Day. But just make sure to follow us on our socials. Keep up with us, Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and TikTok. And you will be able to keep up with everything going on with Gases on the Right. So, without further ado, we'll go into your top 5 for Trey.
All right, so my number 1, which will be my pick for the week, I was gonna pick Priest before
The Fords.
Before the Fords came
Subpar
out.
performance.
Yeah, I will be honest, but I pick Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson to win the 500?
I think he has the potential.
Give 7-time that 3-time.
There you go.
All right.
So in no particular order, 2 through 5 will be. I thought Bubba showed a lot of promise.
Okay.
And the qualifying with him leading, how many laps did he lead again? Because I even said I sat back and I was like, he's been at the front for a minute now.
Maybe 10. I think he led prior to pit stops.
He did lead prior to pit stops, and then he got caught up because of pit stops in the middle of all that.
All right.
So,
Your third
Oh,
pick.
God, there's a truck rolling. Sorry. Oh, that was a bad wreck on the last lap.
I will be honest, this is probably
He
a
was
very
rolling on top of
disorganized
the other trucks.
version of Gases on the Right.
Yeah,
right
this is
now.
quite a different episode comparatively. But with that said, you will see that truck rolling tomorrow morning on Gases on the Right social medias.
Alan will make sure to get it.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
This specific scene will be referenced.
So
you have.
I am gonna pick one of the ones that I know is your pick, but it's part of my top 5, and it's not my pick for the week.
All right.
Hamlin,
All right. So we got your winner,
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson. In no particular order, your next 2, which is Bubba
Yes.
Wallace, Denny Hamlin.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 Toyotas right now.
Let me see. Ross Chastain I didn't feel like did as good as I expected him to do.
Blaney, former champion, and your first Ford in the mix.
If he makes it to the finish,
Yeah, if he doesn't get right hooked.
Oh, these last.
So you got one
these
more.
2.
who is your last pick?
Riley Hurts.
Kyle Busch.
Riley Hurts.
No. As much as I want to pick Kyle Busch,
Riley
I
Hurts.
will be honest. The second duel made me very mad because he tried to avoid that and it just got freaking
Nowhere to
creamed.
go.
He got creamed.
I will say Riley Herbst is a good pick considering his performances on the super speedways, as well as I'm pretty sure that he led in his dual race as well, or at least was running top 5 for a good bit.
Yeah, he was. He led the. I don't know if he ever got to first, but he did lead the outside line.
Yeah, Rick Ware Racing showing a lot of promise. Just as a side note, very promising. But Daniel, I'll let you roll into your top 5 with your pick.
Wait.
I got to go last because your pick beat
Yeah, I
mine.
was about to say yours.
Oh, my pick did beat yours. Sorry, not sorry.
Aw, Daniel lost. For
So
once.
we will start with my pick for Daytona, and to finally win a 500. Or sorry, not finally win a 500, but win his 4th 500 is going to be Denny Hamlin. So, and I'm going to have an all Toyota field right now. So we're going to have Denny Hamlin win
Throw it at us.
in no particular order. Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, and Jimmy Johnson. Because what I saw of those Toyotas in qualifying is a totally different car than what we saw in the duels.
I feel like we had that conversation last night while we were watching the duels.
We did. Those Toyotas, even in twos, even in a pair, dude, like, I
Just
feel like
two
the
of them.
Toyotas could bring back a 2-car tandem.
You think so?
Yeah, they could.
The way that they could pull away from the field and then just back up and do it again, I mean, I don't see why they couldn't. The cars are so stable, so grounded, and so much more controlled than the last generation of the Camry that I really see the Toyotas, like I said at the beginning, the Toyotas are the cars to beat this year on the super speedways. And we have 6 races technically if you count both Atlantas. So expect me to pick a Toyota for all 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it out there right now. So go Japan.
And at Kansas, at the 2 Kansas races, that'll be your other 2 Toyota picks.
I gotta wait and see once we see the first mile and a half to see how this new car reacts under that package. But I at least feel very confident in this format. So hopefully the Fords can figure something out on the mile and a half or something. But we'll see. But that's my 5 with my main pick as Denny Hamlin winning his 4th Daytona 500. What you got, Daniel?
So I've known who I thought was going to win this race since before qualifying, before the duels, and I locked my pick in a long time ago. Even on our podcast sheet, because I knew no one was going to pick him, even though I got to pick last. Mm-hmm. I'm going with the driver of the Wood Brothers 21 Ford Mustang, Harrison Burton.
Harrison Burton.
I'm going to be
Boy
honest.
wonder.
I secretly root for Harrison Burton in any race. Any race.
Me too. He's always been really cool every time me and
Right
Alan
there.
have ran across
He
him
is
at a
right
racetrack.
there.
Yeah, we've ran into him twice in person and conversated, but then you and I ran into him at Talladega
Yes.
on Father's Day weekend.
And I was
Or
literally like, oh my gosh,
Mother's Day.
there's
It
the
was
kid.
one of the days,
There's the kid.
but he was there as well.
I know.
And
I feel like half the stuff that he gets involved in isn't his fault. He just seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I have said
Like
that.
I feel like
mhm.
he's much better than what his results show.
oh yeah,
Yes.
So I got him finishing first, and then the rest of my top 5: Ty Gibbs, Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, and Joey Logano.
throwing a Ford in there.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
a pretty solid
Yeah,
lineup.
I mean that's pretty solid. Joe Logano with the pole as well. So which Joey, I mean he ran good overall too. Well, no, that's a lie.
Mhm.
What Ford ran good am I trying to think of? Michael McDowell.
So
Shuffled out.
Harrison Burton did too.
Yeah,
Dye.
Harrison Burton did as well.
Well, Joey got out of there once it got crazy. Joey got out of there. He just backed back out of the draft because he was
Yeah,
like, I
and-
need to race this car on Monday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
More
Or
than
Monday. Yeah, and I
No,
know
don't say Monday. It is Sunday. We are manifesting this to be
Mc-
Sunday.
McDowell and Burton both got shuffled out. I mean, that's what really happened to both of them. They got shuffled out, and I think McDowell was in the same mindset of when he could have probably made a move to win that race, but it was a move that could cost him his starting position on Sunday, and that's one of those that you don't lose the outside on Sunday for a dual race on Thursday.
So, let me die on my hill real quick before our big news that we're announcing. Harrison Burton, every single time I've seen him in the front of the field doing good, someone else wrecks him. It without
Every time.
and it's not
Noah
even his
Gragson,
fault.
Talladega, 2022 spring.
That, oh my gosh, I remember when that happened.
Which, you know,
and I literally
he's
looked at you
starting
and I was
12th.
Yeah.
I almost picked Harrison as one of my top 5s for that reason. But I will be honest, he is one. I see a lot of potential in him, and I think he just kind of has a streak of bad luck. And I'm hoping it was just last year. Maybe we can change it this year.
Right.
And the year before that.
Well,
oh yeah, and the year before that. I was just thinking of last year and all I saw last year with him.
There's some alliances that are coming in here too that may play in well for their favor, because obviously Wood Brothers is aligned with Penske.
Right.
Front Row Motorsports is now aligned with Penske as well. They left.
That's why I
RFK.
picked Harrison. That's why I put Joey Logano in my top 5, because I'm like, it'll probably be a Ford, either the 2, the 12, or the 22, pushing the 21 to the victory.
I will be honest. Harrison's probably going to be one of my picks later this season.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I think
I think he has a lot of potential. He just hasn't reached his peak yet. We have yet to see the best of what he has to give us.
Yeah,
but what he's given us is still
I think he
pretty
could have
good.
used another year in Xfinity,
right.
but
That's what
the
she
ride
says
was
every
the
time
ride
we
was
talk about
available.
him.
Every single time we talk about him, I'm like, they pulled him up too soon. They should have left him in Xfinity for another year or two and then pulled him up.
Yeah, in a couple weeks we will have an episode out specifically about Harrison Burton and his very unfortunate luck on Splash and Go.
Oh, a Splash and Go episode, yes.
So we will be doing a
That
Splash
is a
and Go
mountain
episode
I will die on.
because Harrison specifically said this off season that this is a make or break year for him. So we'll discuss it and see what we think.
Well, I mean,
it is.
all the major NASCAR podcasts have talked about it too, that if he doesn't have a good year, he's probably on the hot seat.
Yeah. So, but I've also heard that his contract's through 2025. So it's a
Which
hit or
hell, I
miss.
mean, looking at the Xfinity series, I mean, who they gonna pull from a Ford? Besides, I guess maybe they'd throw Riley Herbst in there.
I
But
mean, look at how many people they signed over from Chevy this year, though, too. So, and you put them in a competitive.
yeah, but that
ride.
was just because of a mass exodus at Stewart Haas.
valid. So, Open Cup seats.
That's
why
not
take
happening
it?
again this year.
So, but yeah,
I think that'd be him and Cindric are really the only two people in a Ford I think will be on that. But we'll make a splash and go about hot seat for the year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we'll
coming
do
up.
that.
It's
We'll do
coming up.
that.
Stay tuned. Probably mid-March, we'll have that out. So guys, to concrete solidify our picks. Daytona,
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin, Daniel.
Harrison Burton.
So there are our picks for the week. As we stated, Emily with the first win of the season at the Clash with Kyle Busch. So, any other news that we need to
You know who
talk
was-
about?
You know who was quietly good during the duels that I'm just scrolling through looking at the lineup that I didn't really even like pay much attention to? Carson Hocevar. He's starting in the top 10.
Dude, I think he finished like 4th in his duel or 5th. Very, very
Yeah.
good run in the duel.
Same with Zane Smith. He's going to start 14th.
I saw Zane Smith in the duels. Like, I noticed that. He was doing extremely good.
I mean, I paid attention to him, but he didn't make any noise, you know?
Right.
He was just him and Hocevar, him and Carson Hocevar both were just quietly just there, you know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, do you feel like it is better to be quietly there or make noise?
Your rookie year, quietly there.
Quiet but consistent. Look at Ty Gibbs last year. So he came up and filled in for Kurt Busch for the remainder after Pocono. for the 2022 season. He ruffled a lot of feathers. Eric Jones was pissed off at him. A multitude of guys were pissed off at him. And it was a big problem for him. So he comes into 2023, finishes off a quiet year, wins Rookie of the Year, which of course he didn't have competition after Noah got his booted from his seat.
That was gonna say
A mutual parting, but booted from his seat. But Ty Gibbs had a quiet year and slowly progressed throughout the year, not really gaining enemies other than Joey Logano, which we saw at the Clash, but made grounds, got top 10s, got top 5s, great qualifying efforts. So I think that's the way to go. Like, and it I guess depends on what kind of splash you're trying to make. So if you're trying to say, "Hey, I'm here," like probably not the best thing. But if you're just trying to show, "Hey, I got a fast car and I'm gonna run it," like I got a hot rod, show off your hot rod, you know. So and just let the car and your skill speak for itself, and not the confrontation and the publicity afterwards because of bad media.
Do you feel like there's been rookies who have come in and thrived off of that, I guess, controversy and rival? Hold on.
Oh, I got a list.
Let me finish.
I got a list.
Who have thrived off
Kevin
of that
Harvick.
controversy and rivalry,
Yes.
but their racing did not match up to that.
Racing did not match. Okay, that changes a little bit.
That's why I told you to hold on.
I will say most of the guys that come in with a cocky attitude like that got the skill to back it up, because what comes to mind is Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, who else was recent? Ty Gibbs, honestly, came in pretty hot in the Xfinity Series and kept it up, and in the Cup Series, yeah, top 15s, top 10s, top 20s. I think he had an average finish of like 18th or 16th or something. I may be off on that, but
Which I think Kevin Harvick said it the best about Ty Gibbs is last year he didn't make that much noise and wasn't that aggressive, because I think he has a good way of weighing out whether it's, and the same thing with Ross Chastain. He weighs out whether he should be aggressive or not, versus whether his car is good enough to do that. So I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with that. Actually, I kind of lost my train of thought.
No, that's fine. I just
That
wanted
race
to know
has your
y'all's
attention.
opinion on that. Have you ever seen a driver come in who is basically all bark and no bite? Like, they will have oh my gosh, I can't say that word. Rivalries. They'll
But not
create
stand up.
controversy, but their racing can't their skills can't back up what's coming out of their mouths.
I really don't think there has been many. Because I think the ones that they get humbled.
And-
Noah Gragson last year.
Well,
But that was also like
Yeah.
initiated by somebody else. So it's not really him stepping up to the plate there.
yes.
Yeah, but did he step back?
I mean, he got
But I mean,
suspended.
if he was in the Xfinity Series, he definitely could have backed it up.
He did
You know,
not get, He did not get suspended for stepping back, I guess.
Right. By the way, Ty Gibbs' average finished 18.3 last year. Solid rookie season.
those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those up.
So,
He was a rookie. Leave him alone.
but yeah, I mean, I don't really think that there's any that I can think of off the top of my
I
hand.
can't either.
And the reason is because if they come in that aggressive without the talent to back it up, they become irrelevant quickly.
And drop like flies.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, ones that can back it up, that came in that way: Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs.
I mean, you
Yeah,
act like
Ross-
Kyle Busch is even
Sorry,
that good.
my boy Kyle.
He's only won like 200 something. Only won like 200 something
He
races.
has-
Yeah, 200 something
he has
NASCAR races.
only
Mid.
Two-time champion.
The
Yeah.
most
Sorry, he doesn't have a
wins
Daytona 500. That's what it
across
is.
all three circuits.
Yeah.
No Daytona 500.
Let me
Sorry.
get on my
you know-
soapbox real quick.
You know how many races I've won in my NASCAR Heat 5 career? Way more
Way
than
more.
200.
Yeah, like I've won.
Way
Yeah.
more.
Dude, I've raced way more than he has. Like
Yeah.
I've ran more races. My average is much higher.
I'm sorry, I have seen how y'all race in Heat 5.
Daniel is far superior to me on
He
racing.
is far superior to you.
So, if you want to add us you can add us on Heat 5 on Xbox, by the way. We will drop them in the description of this cast, and we will race with you if you like. We're always down to send somebody flying into turn 3. So,
I'll say it's very entertaining to see both of y'all get on there together. Or
Yeah,
see,
that's
like,
what
a
I
big
have
group
a
of y'all get
I have
on
a 2
there
strikes.
together and just see
yeah,
y'all.
you get 2 chances, and then I promise I'm going to send you sailing.
That's what the other night. That's what the other night I was racing, and it's always people that are driving Kurt Busch cars. It's every time the number 1 Monster Energy.
Mine's
If you see
the
one of those, get ahead of it as soon as you can.
Oh, dude, if you're racing 24, it's the Blaneys and the Elliots. They take you out every time.
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yep. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel
it's
like it's actually Ross Chastain behind the wheel.
or if you're on Heat 5, it's the people that are in the Jeff Gordon 24 for Heat 5.
They'll
Those
kick your
people,
ass.
and the William Byron 24s.
Right.
So that if you see a 24 or a 1, just know
Just
you're
get
probably
out of the
going to
way.
get wrecked. But it was a guy in the 48 car, and I tried to pass him for the lead on the outside twice, and he put me in the wall. And the next time I just dipped below the apron and boom, cleaned him out.
Gone. So,
And he left the lobby.
well, guys,
as for our big news,
we are entering the
Drum
end of
roll.
the episode. So, because the name is hard to pronounce, you'll mind if I take the lead on this?
y'all go ahead, please.
Yep.
Because I
All right,
will
guys.
Negotiated the deal.
I will butcher his
So-
name. I'm so sorry.
Gas is on the Right is sponsoring a race car this season. So, in the Legends of the Pacific series, we will be sponsoring.
Going west, baby.
We are going west, sponsoring Tyler Batsanis. He will be representing the Gas is on the Right podcast on his number 30 Legends car for 8 races a season out in California. He will race 6 times at All American Speedway for the track championship, along with 2 races at Stockton 99 Speedway. And we will be on the hood, on the trunk, and on the contingencies. So be prepared to see a lot of Legends content. Keep your eyes out for Splash and Go, as we are going to get with Tyler to be on the show as well, to talk about his racing upbringings and what got him to racing and how he's running the Legends. So just very exciting news. I cannot believe that we are not even a year into this, and overall from our first episode, and we are putting our name onto a race car. I mean, it's huge, you guys. And thank you to Tyler and BMS Racing for this opportunity to sponsor their car as well, and be out there with them, even though, of course, we're based in Georgia and Alabama, but being able to put our name out on the West Coast over there with their race team, it's huge. I'm going to let you guys, if y'all want to say something about it, but just a big thank you to Tyler and that whole team.
So, hold on.
I'm pumped to get to know him and talk to him and pick his brain and just see what got him into racing, what drives him. If we come to California, if he'll let me drive his race car.
Facts. Both of us, please.
Yeah.
We would love to take your car around the track.
I was gonna say y'all can take that. I would be too nervous.
Yeah. I'm excited to get to know him, get to watch him race. I think, didn't you say that series is on Map TV sometimes?
Yes.
From what I saw last season and the season before, I think they aired 3 on Map TV. He hasn't let me know anything on that lines, and I haven't seen anything posted by the series. But
Yeah,
very
it'll probably be on
excited.
Flow Racing. I feel like all the racing that's
Really
recorded is
anything.
on Flow Racing.
Yeah, but we're definitely
Yeah,
going to have
so
some
I might
content
have to
from
break
Flow.
down and get that.
Yeah, pay that subscription fee. Watch our boy go around the track. But what did you have?
Oh, yeah.
on that?
I was gonna say, can you teach me how to say his name, because I'm
Yes.
still very
So,
confused on how to say his
It
name.
is spelled Batzianis, but it is Batsianus.
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 Okay.
So, and he's 8.
I'm gonna wait to try until he comes on and tells us how to say it for real.
I think
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna try.
I literally told him I don't want to butcher your name. How do you say it? And I'm pretty sure I still butchered it.
I still
So,
feel like
I'm sorry, Tyler.
the confidence when you said it, you chuckled, and it made me chuckle too, because I
I
was
tried.
Like,
I tried. But
so we are sorry if we butchered your name.
But yeah, guys, please go give him some support, some love. You can find him on Instagram at Tyler_R_racing. He is also, you will see him tagged on the podcast page in our next post. And we are also tagged in his post, so you can find it that way as well. But very excited to join the team name is the Batzilla Motorsports BMS. So we're very excited to be a part of the BMS team for the 2024 season for those guys in the 8 races that will be on the car. So stay tuned, and we will have content coming soon in that regards. So, again, big round of applause. This is just it's kind of surreal. It's very exciting for the fact of, again, we did this because we love racing and love NASCAR, and we want to talk about it. And not even a year later, we're going to be on a car. Actually, almost
it's funny
a year to the date, we'll be on a car.
Yep, it's funny because Thursday during the duel, when we saw BJ McLeod didn't have a sponsor, I was like, Alan, we need to hit them up and let's smack our sponsor on the front of the car. And then later that night, Alan hits me up and he's like, hey, what do you think about putting our sponsor actually on a car? And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, go check out the Instagram. So I went to the Instagram and started just reading the messages they had sent. And I was like, holy smokes. I was like, we're doing this. I was like, it's happening.
So, and it's very exciting.
That's kind of the same thing as I had fallen asleep at the end of the duels, and I guess he stayed up and was texting Tyler in the middle of that. And then he woke me up. He was like, we're going to be on a car. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I literally thought it was a fever dream until he got home from work tonight. And he was like, so we have a contract being written up. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
I was like, wait, I didn't dream that? Like, we're actually going to be on a car?
Yeah, it was so huge. But yeah, stay tuned. Like I said, we'll have the car. We'll have him tagged in a post coming up tomorrow to show off to you guys the car, what he's doing, get him tagged so you can see him. And I think as it is here, March 23rd will be his first race at All American Speedway in Roseville, California. I think it's California. But All American Speedway, where he'll be competing for a track championship with Gases on the Right podcast on the car. So you guys stay tuned.
We'll have to get him on before the season starts.
Yeah, we'll get him on here on a Splash and Go probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We'll talk to Tyler and just get what he's talking about, see what's going on. But very excited, very, very excited to be a part of their team and be a part of BMS Racing for this season.
I am so excited.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to be live streaming the races. But does anybody, you guys got anything else before we shut it down for the night and call it a happy weekend?
No, I'm good. I'm just, like you said, it feels surreal.
Right.
Like, since you
I'm
told me
just
that.
ready to get this season officially under the way.
I have been
100%.
excited all day. Like, I went into work and my coworker was like, "You're in a good mood." And I was like, "Daytona Sunday." Like,
Are you pregnant?
Daytona weekend.
No. Don't be starting that.
It is Daytona weekend, my guys.
We have racing tonight.
NASCAR is
tomorrow
back.
Night, Sunday night. Maybe not Sunday night. Maybe Monday. Who knows?
Yeah, so
Daytona.
as the schedule lays out, the ARCA Series is tonight after the truck race. You got Xfinity tomorrow at 2:30, I think it is. Cup Series scheduled for 2:30 p.m. on Sunday, pending no weather impediments. So
SVG's in the ARCA race tonight, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, SVG will be in the ARCA race. So guys, we
I think
appreciate.
I
your
was seeing
time.
something that he didn't
say-
qualify in, that he had to buy somebody's spot.
Really? I mean, when you're like a 3-time champion in your own regard and you won literally your first Cup start, I don't think it's hard to buy the spot.
I will say with SVG, one pick last season.
You better win the week before Chicago. She picked my pick for SVG last season.
I picked him. He was like, "Here, I don't know who to pick. Just pick somebody. It's between these two." And I was like, "I like his name. He has a cool name. Pick
Shane
him."
Van Gisbergen.
And he ended up winning. And I was like, "Look, you should just have me pick every time now."
Right.
Could not believe that. Like, as I watched him take the lead, I was like, you have got to be kidding
Dude,
me.
he took the lead and then
I was like, there's
just
no
ran
way.
off. Like it was not even.
I was like, "There's
that
no
he was
way
sitting there.
Alan actually
He was gone.
expected this pick to work."
No, I did
No,
not.
he really didn't.
I was
he
like,
just gave me a pick of
you
two,
know,
and he was like,
call it a burner. You know, like
that's literally what he told me. Is he was like, pick one of these two. I don't know who to pick.
because like the
It's a
picks I had,
burner.
it was
Here
just
you
like,
go.
do
And I was
you
like-
use them or do you wait until like mile and a half in Michigan, 2 mile, or a super speedway to use these guys? Okay, well I'll just hold off. You know what?
Right.
Yeah, I don't even
And
remember who the other pick was. I think it was
I
Justin
forget.
Haley actually.
I don't think
I'm
it was.
pretty sure it was Justin Haley and SVG were my 2 picks.
And I liked his name more. I was like, he has a cool name. Pick him. He seems like a good one.
But
And then once he won, I was like, look at me.
1 for 1, 2 for
No,
2 now.
2 for 2. Both of my picks have actually won every single time.
We may be in trouble this year.
Watch out, because for some reason I just make it happen.
So
I went like 11-0. Last year. I'm not worried.
yeah, but then you went like 1 and 12,
I was gonna say, wait, hold on.
I went
How
one-
many picks
I went
did
1
you
and
have
11.
last year?
and then you won the regular season on the 1 and 11. Hey, we got a full we got a full regular season this year. We're starting at Daytona, not at Phoenix. So, but well, you guys, we appreciate your time. We appreciate the efforts. Excited for Daytona coming up Sunday. Excited for the Legends Series coming up in March 23rd with Tyler. And we will have him on shortly here in the next couple weeks on a Splash and Go episode. So be sure to stay tuned. So without further ado, guys, I hope that y'all enjoy your weekend and happy Daytona 500.
I would like to apologize for the interruptions my bird has made during this podcast.
It will continuously be a problem.
If it does it again,
Extremely noisy.
it will be chicken stew.
No, don't say that. She is so beautiful. Somebody
Look at her.
look at her. She is beautiful.
She's mean, though.
I heard those birds taste like chicken.
Don't say that about her.
She'll bite us. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Happy Daytona 500 week.
Have a good day.
Oh yeah.